You know, in a world that's always chasing the next big thing, the latest app, the newest disruption, we tend to forget about a tool that's way more powerful and completely timeless. It's something we all use every single day, but very few of us actually master. Today, we're diving into the art of leadership, not through tech, but through the incredible power of language.
A leader who cannot master language cannot truly lead. Whoa, let that sink in for a second. That's a pretty bold statement, isn't it? It's basically saying that even the most brilliant ideas are worthless if you can't communicate them. It's not just about what you know, it's about how well you can bring others along with you. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack.
So, if mastering language is that critical, how did it become such a game changer in our modern world? Let's jump into our first section, a new strategic weapon, and explore why your voice is more powerful right now than it has ever been.
When we think about what really drives power in the 21st century, what comes to mind? For most of us, it's two things: the raw processing power of computers and, of course, the financial power of money. But there's a third, often overlooked force in this equation. Right alongside code and capital, we have the tongue. Yep, your ability to speak, to persuade, to connect, that is a core strategic asset.
This brings us to a fantastic metaphor. I want you to think of your speech as a golden key. With it, you can unlock incredible opportunities, build powerful connections, and create real influence. But here's the catch. That very same key, if you're not careful, can lock those doors for good.
And believe me, the difference is like night and day. On one side, you've got the eloquent leader. They see a problem, they reframe it as an opportunity, and they rally people to their cause. But on the other side, you have the leader who hesitates, who stays quiet, and they don't just lose opportunities, they end up being led by others who are simply willing to speak up. The stakes are incredibly high.
Okay, so hearing all of this, it's pretty easy to feel a little intimidated, right? Maybe you're thinking, well, that's great for them, but I'm just not a natural speaker. That right there is exactly what we're going to tackle next. Let's completely dismantle the eloquence myth and figure out how you can unlock the ability you already have inside you. So let's just put the question right out there. Is being a powerful speaker a gift? Is it some kind of magical talent you're either born with or you're not? This is the one doubt that holds so many people back from even trying. But what if that whole idea is just plain wrong?
And here it is, the big breakthrough idea. Eloquence is not a gift, it's a skill. And honestly, that one little shift in perspective changes absolutely everything. It means powerful communication isn't for some chosen few, it's available to literally anyone who's willing to put in the work to learn and master it.
And let's get really clear on what we mean by eloquence. This is not about using big, fancy words or putting on some kind of show. Real eloquence, it's about speaking naturally. It's about thinking clearly on your feet, and most importantly, connecting with people in a genuine, confident way. It's about being you.
Okay, so if it's a skill, that's amazing news, because skills can be learned, they can be developed. But how do we actually do it? Let's get practical and move into our next section to map out a clear path to forging your own powerful voice.
The whole process really boils down to a simple three-step formula. First, listen more. You can't speak effectively if you're not tuned in to what's happening around you. Second, speak more. You have to seize every single chance you get to practice. And third, and this is the real secret sauce, practice deliberately. This isn't just talking for the sake of talking. It's about intentionally trying to improve every time you open your mouth.
I absolutely love this quote. Like a precious gem is shaped from raw stone, your speech is forged through effort and experience. It's such a perfect way to think about it. Great speakers aren't born, they are made. They're crafted, polished, and refined through consistent, focused effort over time.
And being a skilled communicator isn't about having one default setting. No, it's about having a full toolkit. You know, when you're meeting new people, you need charm and grace. When you're facing down competitors, you need cold, hard reason. In a negotiation, it's all about tact and precision. A truly great leader knows how to adapt their style to fit the moment perfectly.
So let's bring this all home. Why does this one skill matter so much in the long run? Our final section gets right to the heart of a leader's true strength, and it explains why this is the one tool in your arsenal that will never, ever become obsolete.
Here's the bottom line. Your ability to speak is so much more than just words. It is the most visible outward sign of your inner qualities. It's how the world takes the measure of your strength, your wisdom, and your emotional intelligence. It's how they see you as a leader.
Speech is the one weapon that never dulls, if you keep using it. Just think about that. Technology gets outdated, markets shift, strategies fail, but your ability to communicate with clarity and conviction, that only gets sharper and stronger the more you use it. It is a permanent asset.
So, we have established that your words are a golden key, holding immense potential and incredible power. The only question left is, what doors are you going to open?
Welcome to the deep dive. If you're with us, you want that critical knowledge fast, but you definitely don't want just the surface level stuff. You want the real insight. So that's what we're doing today. We've been digging into a really powerful source. It's often translated as the art of leadership through language. And the core idea is pretty simple, but I think revolutionary. In this world that's just getting more complex, more tangled with relationships, there's this one skill, they argue, that really separates the lasting leader from just, well, a temporary manager.
Yeah, and that skill is communication.
Exactly. So we're unpacking this because it argues that speech, how you talk, is maybe the single most visible, most reliable measure of a leader's actual, inherent strength.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how high they place communication. The status this source gives to everyday speech is, well, it's pretty incredible.
Right. It's not just public speaking tips.
No, not at all. This is framed as high-stakes strategy. The text makes this incredibly bold claim that communication, basically your ability to get your vision across and manage your message, it's become the third essential tool of modern life.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Third essential tool. Like, up there with what?
Right up there alongside transportation infrastructure and technological advancement.
That's huge. So roads, computers, and how you speak.
That's the claim. And when you frame it like that, as essential infrastructure, you realize maybe we've been fundamentally underestimating it.
No kidding. And the source doesn't stop there, right? It uses some pretty strong analogies.
Oh, absolutely. Really potent practical analogies. It calls speech a golden key.
A golden key.
Yeah, because it can literally open doors to massive opportunity, or if you handle it badly, slam them shut permanently. And it's also called a powerful weapon.
A weapon? In what sense?
In the sense of negotiation, strategy. A tool to win over allies, neutralize competitors. It's positioned as the ultimate form of leverage in those situations.
Okay. Wow. And I think the statement that just crystallizes this whole high-stakes view, for me anyway, is this one. The text says flat out, the three strategic weapons of the 21st century are computers, money, and the tongue.
Just think about that list for a second. Computers, technology. That dictates how fast we can move, right?
Right. Speed.
Money, finance. That dictates how much capital we have to actually make moves.
Resources.
But the tone communication that determines where we're going, why we're going there, and crucially, who is coming along with us.
So it's the steering wheel.
Exactly. It's the means by which a leader actually controls the use of the other two weapons. I mean, if you can't convince people to fund your big idea, or you can't get your engineers excited about building your vision, well, all the money and tech in the world are basically useless.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so that leads us right into, well, how does this text define leadership itself then? It sounds like it's saying.
It's pretty blunt. It says, a leader who cannot master language cannot truly lead, period.
Okay. But what does mastery actually look like here? Because when I hear eloquence, I often think of, slick speeches, maybe complex words, a kind of showmanship. Is that what they mean, that kind of political performance?
That's a great question, and the text pushes back hard against that very idea. It argues that true mastery isn't about complexity or being flashy. It's about clarity.
Clarity, okay.
Yeah, real eloquence, according to this source, isn't defined by fancy words. It's defined by, 1, the ability to speak naturally, 2, the deep capacity to think clearly, especially under pressure, and 3, the confidence to genuinely connect with any audience.
Any audience, regardless of their background.
Exactly. It really prioritizes clear thought and sincere conviction way above just putting on a show.
That distinction feels really important, clear thinking versus just showmanship. And the text has this great way of illustrating it, right? It sort of paints a picture, like a tale of two speakers you see out there.
It does, yeah. It's a really effective contrast. On one side, you've got your successful people, the leaders who speak with, well, real energy and conviction. They don't shy away from opposition. Instead, they seem to greet challenges with this, like calm voice, maybe even a calm smile. They manage to turn obstacles into opportunities, often just by how they frame things, how they talk about it.
So their words actually do something. They unite, they clarify.
They mobilize people. And success just seems to follow naturally because everyone's on the same page. They understand the direction.
Right, and then there's the flip side.
The flip side, those who maybe they're brilliant, maybe they have a fantastic idea, but they fail to capitalize. They lose out on golden opportunities purely because they can't express themselves clearly or with any confidence.
So they're the ones who stay quiet in meetings. Or maybe they speak, but it's hesitant.
Exactly. They sound unsure. And what happens? They end up being led, directed by others who might not even be smarter, but who just speak more boldly, more decisively.
It really is the difference between leading and following, isn't it? And it comes down to how confidently you use your voice.
It absolutely underscores that point about visibility we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
If your wisdom, your great idea, is trapped behind your teeth because you're hesitant to speak up, it doesn't matter how brilliant it is.
Right, it's invisible.
Totally invisible to your team, your investors, your competitors, everyone.
Okay, that makes sense. But here's a thought. Isn't there a risk? Sometimes being too silent or too hesitant, doesn't that get interpreted as weakness, not, wisdom waiting? How does the text handle that? Because leadership communication can't just be one single style, right? It has to change.
That is the critical pivot. You've absolutely hit on the core of the next part of this. The text makes it clear. Leaders are inseparable from their communication, yes, but the style has to shift. It must shift depending on the objective.
Adaptability.
Adaptability isn't just a nice to have. It's mandatory. It's central to using communication as that strategic weapon we mentioned.
Okay, so it's like needing a whole toolkit for communication, not just a hammer. You need to know when to use which tool, depending on who you're talking to or what challenge you're facing.
Exactly right. A situational toolkit. And the text actually breaks down some key requirements for different scenarios. Like, for instance, when you're meeting new people, potential clients, new hires, whatever.
Okay, what do you need then?
You need charm and grace. You need to build that immediate rapport, that connection. But, and this is crucial, if you use that same charming, graceful approach when you're facing down tough competitors in a debate.
Yeah, that's not going to work. You'll look soft.
Exactly. You'll be seen as weak. In that situation, the text says you need reason and rhetoric. You need logic, data, strong arguments to win the day.
And I guess the reverse is true too, right? You can't use that cold, hard logic when you need to, say, rally your team after a setback.
Precisely. That would be disastrous. When you're negotiating a high-stakes deal, okay, you need sharp tact and precision. Every single word counts. It has to serve a strategic purpose.
Careful wording.
Extremely careful. But then, if you use that same, cold, precise, tactical language when your team is feeling down and needs motivating, you'll just crush their spirits.
Right. They need warmth then.
Exactly. That's when you need pure warmth and conviction. You need to rally them, rebuild their belief, mixing up those tools using logic when empathy is needed or charm when assertiveness is required. It's not just ineffective, it's actively damaging.
So the real mastery is in the switch. Being able to pivot instantly. Not just what you say, but your entire demeanor, the how.
That's it, the instantaneous appropriate switch.
Okay. And this focus on adaptability, on precision.
Yeah.
It brings us to another interesting point the text makes, right? About the power of saying less sometimes. The power of restraint. We often think powerful speakers fill all the airtime.
Right, we picture the person who dominates the conversation. But the source really emphasizes the profound impact of conciseness. Think about a really complex, maybe chaotic meeting. Things are getting messy.
Yeah, I've been there.
We all have. And then the leader steps in. Not with a long speech, but with a single, decisive sentence, delivered at just the right moment. What happens?
It can cut through everything, calm the room down.
Exactly. It calms the room, clarifies the next step, completely shifts the conversation's direction. That's not about volume. It's about the precision of thought, communicated concisely.
It's the difference between rambling on and actually commanding the situation.
Perfectly put. And that idea also extends to, believe it or not, silence and just your general demeanor. The text points out that in public settings, sometimes humility and restraint convey a different kind of power.
Oh, so...
It's not the loud bluster some associate with leadership. It's the quiet strength. That restraint, that choice not to fill every silence. It can be interpreted as deep confidence.
Like you don't need to keep talking to prove your point.
Exactly. You've said what needed saying, and now you're letting it land. You trust the weight of your words.
Okay, so we've got this picture now. Communication as essential, strategic, highly situational, adaptable. Now let's bring it home. For the person listening right now, the learner who wants to actually embody this kind of leadership, what's the core message?
This is probably the most crucial takeaway and honestly the most encouraging one.
Yeah.
The source is emphatic.
Yeah.
Eloquence, this ability we're talking about, it is not some mystical gift you're born with or without.
Ah, okay. So it's not like height or eye color.
Not at all. It is a skill. And like any skill, it is forged through effort. It can be learned, practiced, and mastered.
That's huge, because if you recognize yourself in that description of the unsuccessful speaker, the quiet one losing opportunities, there's actually something you can do about it.
Absolutely. The solution is practical. It's achievable. What does the text suggest? Listen more actively.
Yeah.
Really listen. Speak more deliberately. Think before you speak.
Yeah.
And practice. Consciously practice.
It's like building a muscle.
Exactly like building a muscle or any other strategic capability you need to develop.
Right.
It takes training.
And the text uses some really strong images to drive this home, right? About the effort involved. It's not easy.
No, it definitely emphasizes the commitment required. It says speech isn't something you just, pick up. It's forged, like metal in a fire. Forged through deliberate effort and, importantly, through experience, getting out there and doing it.
Okay. And the analogies.
They're quite evocative. It compares developing this skill to, say, shaping a precious gem from a rough, ordinary-looking stone. It takes time, friction, pressure,
Right. Polishing it.
constant polishing.
Right.
Or another one, it's like a golden flower that doesn't just bloom easily in the summer sun. It only reaches its full beauty after enduring the harsh cold of winter.
Wow. So the winter is the hard part, the practice.
The winter's the discipline, yes. The
Yeah.
practice sessions, the courage it takes to speak up when you feel uncomfortable, the dedication to listening better even when you want to talk, that's the cold you have to go through.
At the result.
The result, over time, is that your words start to land. They hit the mark exactly where you intend them to, with precision, with impact.
Which just hammers home that point. For anyone who really wants to lead, developing this skill, this ability, it's simply not optional.
Not if you're serious. If you hope to lead, to influence decisions, to mobilize teams towards a goal,
Yeah.
this is foundational. You have to work on it.
And that final thought the source leaves us with about the commitment. It calls communication the one weapon that never dulls.
With a crucial condition.
Right. If you keep using it, if you
Yeah.
keep sharpening it through practice and application.
So let's just quickly recap this whole deep dive.
Right.
We've basically established that speech, in today's world, isn't just talking. It's a core strategic weapon, right up there with tech and money.
Yep. Strategic weapon.
Got it. We've learned that real eloquence, the kind that leads, is about clear thinking and authentic connection, not just putting on a performance.
Clarity over flashiness.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, we've seen that how well you communicate can literally determine whether you seize those golden opportunities that come your way, or whether you end up being directed by others who are simply better at expressing themselves.
It really puts the responsibility back on us, doesn't it? Which leads perfectly to our final thought for you, the listener, to mull over today.
Right?
If speech truly is that one strategic weapon that never dulls, assuming you keep sharpening it, and if your words are the most visible reflection of your confidence, your clarity, your wisdom, then the question is, what tangible, conscious steps are you actually taking starting today to deliberately sharpen that tool?
That's the question.
Because the answer might just determine how many of those golden doors swing open for you tomorrow.